There's a whole spectrum of people.
Yeah. What has it done in terms of one of the things that a lot of people said, and I have too, like nothing turns you into a libertarian quicker than jiu-jitsu. I don't know why that is. I think it's the hard work thing. It's cutting out all of the bullshit and realizing how much of the things that we take as real things are just excuses and bullshit and weakness and just procrastinate. There's a lot of things that we have that exist, especially in like the business world and the corporate world and the education world, that are just bullshit. And they don't really have to be there. And they're only there to try to make up for hard work.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of just what I was saying before. I think for me, it's just I think a lot of the corporate world is like pretty culturally neutered, and I just think like having, I grew up. I have 3 sisters, no brothers. I have 3 daughters, no sons. So I'm like surrounded by girls and women like my whole life, and it's like so I think I don't know. There's just something the kind of masculine energy I think is good, and obviously society has plenty of that, but I think corporate culture was really like trying to get away from it, and I do think that there's just something. It's like I don't know. All these forms of energy are good, and I think having a culture that like celebrates the aggression a bit more has its own merits that are really positive, and that has been a kind of a positive experience for me. Just like having a thing that I can just like do with my guy friends and like. And it's just like we just like beat each other a bit. I don't know, it's good.
It is good. I agree. It's good. It just I can see your point though about corporate culture. When do you think that happened? Was that a slow shift? Because I think it used to be very masculine, and I think it was kind of hyper aggressive at one point.
No, and look, and I think part of the intent on all these things I think is good, right? It's I do think that if you're a woman going into a company, it probably feels like it's too masculine. It's like there isn't enough of the kind of the energy that you may naturally have, and it probably feels like there are all these things that are set up that are biased against you, and that's not good either. Because you want women to be able to succeed and like have companies that can unlock all the value from having great people, no matter what their background or gender. So, but I think these things can always go a little far, and I think it's one thing to say we want to be kind of like welcoming and make a good environment for everyone, and I think it's another to basically say that masculinity is bad. And I just think we kind of swung culturally to that part of the kind of the spectrum where it's all like, okay, masculinity is toxic. We have to like get rid of it completely. It's like, no, like it's both of these things are good, right? It's like you want like feminine energy, you want masculine energy. Like I think that's like you're going to have parts of society that have more of one or the other. I think that's all good. But I do think the corporate culture sort of had swung towards being this somewhat more neutered thing. And I didn't really feel that until I got involved in martial arts, which I think is still a much more masculine culture. And and not that it doesn't try to be inclusive in its own way, but I think that there's just a lot more of that energy there. And I just kind of realized it's like, this is
that's
like,
how you become successful at martial arts. You have to be at least somewhat aggressive.
Yeah. So, but I mean, there are like a few of these things throughout your life where you have an experience and you're like, where has this been my whole life? And it just like it just turned on like a part of my brain that I was like, okay, like this was a piece of the puzzle that should have been there, and I'm glad it now is.
A lot of people aren't really buying this new change in Mark Zuckerberg, but if he's legit, I'm all for it. All people talk about is how toxic masculinity is, especially in the workforce. We tell men that aggression is bad, but when controlled, it can be used to achieve great things. Aggression is needed whether it's sports, business, or your own personal growth. It helps bring out that competitive spirit that men need to excel in competitive environments. It's only problematic when you're aggressive towards other people. But when you're aggressive towards pursuing your goals, that's exactly what you need to get over the hump. This is why male spaces are so important. It helps men embrace their masculinity in a world that's telling you that masculinity is toxic. They're trying to tame that lion in you. So whether it's jujitsu, sports, or just camping with the guys, find some time for some male camaraderie. No one can better understand what you're going through than other men. They help challenge you, they hold you accountable, and they help keep you centered. Misael Rodriguez is a professional middleweight boxer who's undefeated. If he wanted to, he could have knocked this man into a coma. But real men know when to fight and when to walk away. Men need to understand that walking away isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom and self-control. And also knowing there's a time and a place for everything. So shout out to this man for keeping his cool and also protecting the bag.
Masculine doesn't mean like 6'5", big, fighting everyone. The idea of toxic masculinity can't actually exist because masculinity in and of itself is not toxic. It's the opposite of toxic. It's noble, it's stoic, it's strong, it's like a pillar for the family. It's the most beautiful thing that needs to be celebrated, encouraged, and like implemented back into our boys, into society.
Being masculine too, it's being in tune with your feelings and, you know, not running away and taking charge and being a man, stepping up.
I've always said that masculinity is power. And just like any great power, it can be used for good or it can be used for evil. When masculinity is used for good, we accomplish the greatest things that mankind has ever seen. Don't let them take away your power.
Machine here. 19. Son. Yeah, that's the Lord. Who's gonna carry the boats and the logs? Who's one more to carry the boats? You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it.
I don't know if my man's training for the Marines or the Avengers. Either way, he's ready.
All right, girl. I'm gonna show you how to change the tire, because you don't need a man in your life.
Yeah.
No something que like you need a man in your life, eh?
Yeah, Dad. I need a man.
Why do you need a man? I'm gonna show you so you won't need one.
I need one and I want one.
He's trying to show you something.
The funny thing is he's actually showing her why it's important to have a man in her life. And this is why it's important for men to be a present figure in their kids' lives so they can see the benefit of having a man around.
When it comes to masculinity, it's living a life that women can submit to, not enforce submission. And what I mean by that is a man that is very much makes great, fantastic decisions, has a lot of self-control. In general, he has a life which he can be proud of. There's a lot of self-respect in who he is. What will happen is women will naturally allow him to take the lead. They will naturally submit to him. And as a result, she can focus on raising the children. She can focus on being a woman. She can focus on looking after him. When he is unable to control his urges in any way, shape, or form, she then has to take the driving seat. And as a result, she gets frustrated because she sees him as an extra child rather than as a leader in the marriage. And therefore, it's only a matter of time where she loses respect and then she leaves.
This is exactly why I don't believe in men being stay-at-home dads. Women may accept you in that role for a little bit, but they all eventually lose respect for the man. Build yourself up, get a job that you can be proud of, get to a point where you're happy in life, and then find a woman you can share that life with.
If you can list the fucked up things that have happened in your life and you can put that on a list, and you've somehow made it past all of this to be in a position where you can still go make some stuff happen, that's what you have in common with every hero of every story, of every autobiography, of every... Wow. Is how much happened to you that should have broke you, that did not break you, so that you were able to then fucking ride. Amen. Amen.
No lies told. Every great story does not come without its trials and tribulations. You might be down right now, things might look bad, but what makes it an even greater accomplishment is when you overcome all those things. You're the author of your own story. So go out there and make the greatest underdog story ever told. All right, that's all I got for this one. Please let me know, what points did you agree with? What points did you disagree with? Leave your comments below and let me know what you thought. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. And if you got anything out of this video, hit that like button. Disagree to disagree. I'm out.